Again the Empire names its revival. Again the ministers draft renewal plans, where monks inscribe Latin verse, bureaucrats calibrate safe limits. Both call their labor salvation. Charlemagne scripted order into parchment. His scholars catalog the ancients, calling inventory enlightenment. Every sermon promised empire restored, every parish stayed illiterate. The movement ended as it began, archives intact, purpose forgotten. Now new rulers rehearse the ritual, technicians in paper suits praise efficiency. They chant sustainability, swear that radiance redeems the age. Old machinery returns beneath new branding, a mirror of the past polished for investors. Waste accumulates like unspoken confession. Two renaissances, one logic. Command substitutes for participation. Metrics replace meaning. Preservation wears the mask of progress. Each empire manages its own decline and calls the stagnation secure. Budgets collapse, but slogans persist. Specialists write analyses of the pause. Repositories of promise expand. Dry casks outnumber dreams. Neither faith nor vision escapes procedure. Each promising safekeeping, each guaranteeing delay. So the Carolingian and nuclear stand together, two empires of preservation, two revivals without renewal. They turned ambition into record-keeping, risk into bureaucracy, hope into half-life, a single pattern through 1,000 years. Management mistaken for miracle.
That's crazy good. Wicked. I don't know what happened. I got a big blip, and my system went clunk. All I can do is just restart everything and repost it. It was weird. We got I put in new security that time, everything. What a scramble, eh? I got my eyes scratched. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Are you more concerned about pigs in Japan or Fukushima in your supermarket? God damn, Charlie called in an airstrike. Fuck. That's hilarious. I'm probably right on top of that. My apologies. I've done the best I could. We're back up and running here, I think. Let's get rolling. Whatever. I don't know what to say. Okay, so pigs. And they show reactor 3 down in the bottom right-hand corner. Medusa, we should call it. If you're honest, you'll call it Medusa. If you're working there, you'd call it Medusa. If you look at it, then this is a lethal dose. Oh my God, what a rough day I had. Well, we got a little show in. That's all that matters. Who cares about the other stuff? My apologies. You know how it goes. Got a rocking show to get after here. Mutant radioactive pigs. We've heard this story how many times over the years? 15 years. It's the distraction. They've done the same thing with Chernobyl, except mutant radioactive pigs were in Sweden, and they still are. They have incredible new abilities. Oh yeah, they can read people's minds, and they can turn iron into gold. They got geese that follow them around laying golden eggs, Dana. Oh, that sounds interesting. Sweet. Just call it. Leave Dana's computer alone. Hi, honey. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the madness. If you've never been here before, boogity, boogity, boogie. Should you be more worried about the Fukushima food in your supermarkets worldwide than Japan's pigs? Yes. Yeah. Oh my, yes. And so all the media ran it with the exact same story. This is a distraction. They do this every so often, where there's this. They get $1 billion a year. The nuclear industry has given to them, the public relation firms. So there's 1,000 of them. So it's $1 million each. And they cook up these distractions. When this story is over, you'll see the real issue. A wild boar at a residential area evacuation zone near the Fukushima nuclear power plant, an evacuation zone. Normal people call it a nuclear wasteland that murders everybody that comes in there. In the wake of the mayhem, multiple nuclear meltdowns, 36 reactor cores and 8 fuel pools at the top of 4 reactor buildings melting down, something this planet has never conceived. And domestic pigs were let loose and abandoned. So were cows. Lots of cows died in the barn, tied up, starved to death. And pets were left home to starve to death. And the elderly were abandoned in the nuclear wasteland, wandering around. There was Alzheimer's. There's something like 100 Alzheimer's patients abandoned in Fukushima or Kuma, I can't remember, which is right alongside of the nuclear meltdowns. This kickstarted the birth of a mutant pig population. It's called pro-nuclear, actually. According to popular science. Why would anybody even look at popular science? That's the public relation firm scooped it up. Back in the day, everybody used to have popular mechanics in their house magazines, right? That was scooped up too. But the public relation firms, once the internet came along, a lot of people, the first thing they looked for on the internet, when their first experience, and they still do on the internet, is popular magazine. Popular mechanics, I'm sorry. And so public relation firms were looking at this and said, well, we got to get that no matter what the cost. And that was their first chance to brainwash anybody coming on the internet. Very successful even today. And the people that write for it are the most unlikable, subhuman creatures we've ever seen. And the reason it's showing you pigs is because all the other animals were killed by the radioactive fallout. The pigs were migrating over large areas. So then they show you this, the horror nuclear disaster. And you got to put it there, sparked by an earthquake. They got to have that there at all costs. In every single sentence where there's Fukushima, you got to have started by an earthquake and tsunami. The nuclear industry's public relation campaign is the best public relation campaign in the history of anything. At the top of reactor 3, which was a plutonium mixed oxide reactor, was decades of reactor cores. 3 decades. So at the top of each building, typically there's 5.5 reactor cores every decade. These were 3 decades old. And on top of it was a plutonium mixed oxide. And there's absurd amount of pictures that are beautiful, clear. They don't need an old grainy picture like that. The industry's just evil. There's nobody good in that industry. The industry doesn't have any redeeming qualities whatsoever. Radiation is what's killing your loved ones in every hospital. The industry's infiltrated and universities worldwide. The hybrid progeny inherit the maternal domestic pig's rapid reproductive cycle. Listen, we see this all the time. It's the distraction. Fukushima University and Osaka University have found, first off, Fukushima University is evil. What they done is evil. That university should be gutted and dismantled right to the ground, and they should turn it into a graveyard because that's what it deserves to be. They're evil people. I'm not even going to read the story. It's stupid. And look at this picture they're showing us. This is a public relation campaign. I mean, this is a real picture. And then they show you the explosion of reactor 1 and reactor 3. They didn't show the explosion. It ejects 8 fuel pools, at least, 8 reactor cores straight up into the air, right out of the buildings where it's going to catch fire. This was reactor 1. Evil doesn't come close to articulating this. I looked up some studies, by the way, from that university. They're pigs. They should be fed to the pigs, actually. They are known to destroy crops, affect wildlife, and ruin delicate ecosystems. Oh, they're talking about nuclear, obviously. Let me explain to you what they should be talking about. Astronomical amount of radiation found in downtown Tokyo. Horrific readings where kids were playing. Extreme levels found where food is grown for elementary school lunches. Do you get any idea the significance of that statement? The horror of that statement? This industry is not anybody's friends, including nuclear industries. Just bear with me. Fukushima U.S. government officials. The elephant in the room is Fukushima radiation. When it comes to the Pacific Ocean animal die-off, the government had totally failed to inform the public about the full extent of the fallout. Let's just worry about the pigs data. Don't worry about facts. We don't need facts. Let's worry about pigs. Let's talk about pigs data. I already did. Fukushima will start burning nuclear waste. 100,000 atoms per kilogram to be incinerated. 185, for instance, would have been an evacuation zone. Not 185,000, but 185, like a turtle, the age of an old turtle, or certain whales, which are all emaciated and have starved to death worldwide now. They'll be gone in a couple of years. But let's talk about radioactive pigs. Don't talk about anything useful. 1 billion pounds. So when you try to incinerate radioactive waste, it just liberates the radiation back into the ecosystem to attack anything with replicating cells forever. And that's why forest fires are so scary. I didn't think I was going to get a show in, even before this. And I posted it early in the hopes I would. And my knee's like a big balloon. A little bit better though every day, so that's good. Hundreds ill after Fukushima burned nuclear rubble in major cities. They had nuclear fallout cover major tsunami debris. They grinded it all up, shipped it across Japan, and burnt it in the incinerators in big cities and communities. They built 19 special incinerators in Fukushima Prefecture just to burn nuclear waste. And they don't know how to decommission the incinerator. These incinerators, by the way, are like 150 feet tall skyscrapers. 15-story buildings. They built 19 of them just to burn nuclear waste in Fukushima Prefecture. They never stopped growing food in nuclear wasteland. And when you burn nuclear waste, you're just liberating the anthropogenic man-made isotopes back into the environment. The entire nuclear industry should be put in jail and then tried for crimes against humanity, every one of them. Particularly the academics that have falsified studies. It's so evil, it just defies, nobody can believe it. If you don't know anything about this industry, it's hard to comprehend that this could be real. Danny, you must be exaggerating. You must be paranoid. I wish I was. Heartbreakingly so. I wish I was. Hang on with me. That was quite the scuffle there trying to get the show back up and running. My goodness. We're basically recreating Fukushima all over again. Clouds of radioactive radiation continue across the Pacific Ocean. But let's worry about the fucking pigs in Japan nuclear wasteland. Don't call it a nuclear wasteland. Call it an exclusion zone or something. It would be like Chernobyl on steroids if the spent fuel catches fire. Said a nuclear engineer who worked at identical plants, reactors. Each reactor holds about 3,450 spent fuel assemblies. 3,450. We're going to bring up the... So each assembly is around 1,800 pounds. You're around 6 million pounds at each building. You had 4 buildings confirmed. That doesn't mean that's all that happened there. I got to try to get... What the hell is going on? We're not going to get a big show tonight. I pushed myself a little hard this week. And just not a little hard, a little too much. Terrible weather down here. Just cold, miserable, and dreary, and chemtrails in the sky everywhere. Just millions of migratory birds didn't show up here. They should be here right now, getting ready to lay eggs to raise and then raise their fledglings here. They didn't show up. Where do you think they went? They've been coming here for millions of generations, and now they're not here. So where do you think they went to? They're permanently gone. This is an extinction event. But let's worry about the pigs at Fukushima. And all the media worldwide is just pumping that story as if it's the only story on the planet. It's a pretty disturbing... There we go. I'm almost ready. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right, there you go. We're good. All right. Man, James' music is holy shit. It's next level. The industry made a big mistake when they pissed off that guy. I'll tell you that right now. Nuclear expert, all it takes is coolant to stop circulating. So you don't need a you don't need a tsunami, you don't need an earthquake, you just need the cooling to stop circulating. Why is everything weird? Well, it started off weird, I guess that's just the way it goes. This is a 20-day model of Neptunium-239. This is 21 days. Neptunium-239 decays to plutonium-239 in 10 increments, and each increment is 2.5 days. So in 25 days, all of the Neptunium-239 is decayed to plutonium-239. So that model you're looking up there has to be plutonium-239. It's 20 days in, so it's just 5 days away. It's 8 decays in. There's 10 decays, and then everything becomes plutonium. And then plutonium-239 has a 24,000 year half-life, so there's 10 of those. After 240,000 years, all the plutonium will be another evil, wicked, annihilating isotope. But I don't know if you noticed, but your home is dear. Your children are walking to school in that stuff. Your friends and families and your loved ones are being catastrophically impacted in increments for the rest of their life. Their body is under siege. I hope next week I'm... Because, by rights I shouldn't have done those shows this week, and I'm just stubborn. For the right reasons. What we do is desperation. We're desperate for the world to have a conversation. We're desperate for the world to fight back. We're desperate for the world to come to their senses. We're not doing this because it's fun or easy or I'm bored or... I've been at this for 25 years. But since Fukushima, there's been an urgency that has possessed me. Thank goodness, thank God, that we have the fortitude somehow magically bestowed upon us to push back and to fight and to reject the lies and deceit and dishonesty and propaganda from every direction you can imagine. It's hard for any person to comprehend it. People are so conditioned through The Simpsons and SpongeBob and the Hulk and Spider-Man and comic books and Hollywood, and they believe fantasies. It's not their fault. It's not that they're bad people. It's just they've been socially engineered to be incompetent so the industry can have its way with your planet. And they're very smart. They're not stupid. They're not naive. They're not gullible, incredibly educated. And they're literally the most evil creatures we've ever come across. And you can't really call them creatures. You can only call them scum and degenerates and idiots and monsters for doing what they're doing, for participating in what they're participating in. Diachi worker at Fukushima. I saw black smoke that came from the common spent fuel pool chimney. I wonder if it was smoke or boiler. If not, the common spent fuel pool chimney is for venting, not for smoke. So it vents. Common spent fuel pools are the same as any other spent fuel pool in many ways. This is so important. The common spent fuel pool is where they're storing reactor cores, old ones. So like every 12, 14, 15 months to take out 1/3 of a reactor core and put it in each of the reactor's fuel pools at the top of their buildings. They don't have a repository. And so then after, say, 4 years, you have a full reactor core. How's that work again? They take the old reactor fuel and they put it in the common spent fuel pool. That's the best way to think of it, from 6 different reactors. So the common spent fuel pool becomes packed very quickly. Just let me show you some pictures, interesting pictures. I had done a video of 736 mystery pictures. One of them, you'll see the video. It's a very important video. I'm the only person who ever covered it. And we've covered it multiple times, and my other site's been taken down. So, here we go. Bear with me. So, this is reactor 4. Look how it's pixelated out. And right behind me directly is reactor 3. That's all pixelated out. Up there is the common spent fuel pool. That's all pixelated out. And the top of the building, you see the black patches, they're blacked out. So this was right across the street from reactor 3 and 4. This is very low compared to the reactors on the other side of the street. So they're on the same street. And the tsunami ran right through this building, and it has windows down low. And up in the back of the building, you can see where the tsunami looped in, and it pushed all kinds of containers from transport trucks and that, piled up in the back of the building. And so why would they pixelate all of these buildings? All of the common spent fuel pool with decades of reactor cores from 6 reactors. And why was there smoke? The smoke is not supposed to be coming out of the so-called chimney. The chimney is for venting the isotopes. So the isotopes, when you take fuel out of a reactor core, the fuel cycle, it's all about the fuel cycle. Because now it's a perpetual machine. So it's still splitting atoms, it's no containment, and it's not producing power. So the fuel pool is the most dangerous, evil entity or weapon against humanity and the 8 million species ever created. You can't see it or smell it or hear it or feel it or taste it or touch it or perceive it. And if you drink it or consume it or breathe it in or wash in it or shower in it, do your laundry in it, you're being harmed now for the rest of your life. And every time that every day for the rest of your life, your body is under siege. Every second for the rest of your life is under siege from pulses of energy in your body or in proximity to you on top. Fukushima fire chief was pleading for help from the U.S. military. Fire broken out at reactor 4. We can't do anything. Yeah, it's a nuclear meltdown. You're not supposed to be there. The fire departments from Osaka, which is 600 miles away, and Tokyo, were sent into Fukushima. Not nuclear companies or nuclear academics or nuclear universities, nuclear corporations that built a reactor. They sent in people who knew nothing about it and were guaranteed to get lethal doses. And it might not kill them right on the spot, but it'll kill them weeks or months down the road. Worker tried to have a last meal before dying and realized he can't taste the food. So he died not too long after that. There was 865,000 extra cancers in the first year. There was 13,646 out of 42,800. At 38,200, children with thyroid tumors the size of their thyroids. It used to be 1 in a million, which was 35.7%, 35.8%, which scales up to 358,000 out of a million. So the child, when they're growing and developing for the first 25 years of their lives, the hormones from the thyroid dictates their development. So if you feed the species in the bodies anthropogenic man-made isotopes, that's not what the body's designed to work on. And that's exactly what now is happening to every species and every human on the entire planet. Reactor 4 had 1 explosion and 2 fires in 2011. 2 fires and Reactor 4 had 1 explosion, 2 fires. I'll show you a picture of Reactor 3 and 4. They're alongside of each other. That might help you. So that building had 1 explosion and 2 fires. Well, that's stump. So it didn't need any more explosions because it lost its entire inventory. Same thing with Reactor 3. There was 9 reactor cores in that building, 9 reactor cores in that building. Where do you think that went? They went into your food. They went into the fresh water worldwide, into the oceans worldwide. That contaminated all your water on the entire planet, which has already been contaminated from 80 years of emissions from 1,000 fuel pools worldwide. There's nothing more important than this story. There's nothing more important. But let's worry about Reactor 2. Don't worry about Reactor 1 on one side of Reactor 2 and Reactor 3 on the other side of Reactor 2. Let's worry about Reactor 2. Let's not worry about Reactor 3 and Reactor 4. Let's worry about Reactor 2. Yeah, and you should worry about Reactor 2, but I'm worried about that. Excuse the language and the tone of my voice. I do that sometimes to emphasize the prominence and the urgency of this story, of this event. This is an extinction event. You were poisoned with a biological weapon. And that's according to an absurd amount of scientists and doctors in the 50s described the emissions from the nuclear industry as a biological weapon because of its effect upon the species and the humans' bodies worldwide. You don't have a right to ignore this. La 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 la. Da. Da, 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 da. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. Gabriel got lots of chemtrails in his neck of the woods. Well, chemtrails means no sunshine. La 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 la. Yeah, I'm just scanning here. Make sure I got. It's not a very long show tonight, and I apologize. Nothing I can do about it. Every day I get a little bit better, though, unless I screw up. Well, no, every day I get a bit better. Last night was the first night. I was really tired, man. Yeah, I had a rough day yesterday, but I slept all night. I was so happy. I was so happy because both elbows are a pain, and both of my ankles now, because when I fell down last week, I heard everything except for my head, thank goodness. That's what I was trying to protect, was my head. And so I hurt my shoulder, my left elbow, my left wrist, my left hip, my left knee, my left ankle, my right ankle, my right elbow. Right knee's a little, it's still affected, but that's the only injury that was mediocre. Everything else was brutal, beaten. And I just recovered from a fall, right in January. I had a brutal fall. It took me 6 weeks. We missed something like 6 weeks of shows. And I had gout in my foot right after that, which took me out for a couple more. Nasty pain. And then I was just finally healing. And then last week, I got smashed. And I still don't know how to not work. Not try to do the best I can. Not fight for the existence of humanity with every fiber in my body. Radiation forecast in Japan kept secret. So the reason you have sirens, like some nuclear plants have 150 sirens within 10 miles. And the sirens originally were created in response to 3 Mile Island. Right? And that was a concession that was made. When in reality, all nuclear should have been recognized as evil right there. But they covered up 3 Mile Island successfully, right? And people actually went to 3 Mile Island. When 3 Mile Island melted down, people actually went there to see what a nuclear meltdown looked like. Actually went to a nuclear meltdown to see what a nuclear meltdown looks like. And you can see pictures, if you look it up, you see pictures of all kinds of people gathered up outside of 3 Mile Island. That's how complacent we were as a race. And that was because the nuclear industry is social engineering. And they got so much power, so much influence. They captured your universities. They captured all your medias in increments over decades. They captured all your key government positions. And that was right from the get-go. That was from the Secrecy Act during the Manhattan Projects. And they had 10,000 spies spying on 10,000 scientists. They had another 20,000 spies spying on the 10,000 spies, and the other 10,000 was spying on the 10,000 scientists for redundancy. And then they had another set of redundancy for that. So you'd have an enormous amount of money allocated. And then that money never stopped flowing. It's still flowing today. They just kept renewing that Manhattan Project era funding. And the people coming out of universities now, because they control the universities, The inbreeds themselves are ones that are being put in key positions to keep this perpetual crime against humanity and the species intact. And now it's a self-perpetual annihilation machine, which ultimately will exterminate every species just from radioactive fallout. You got 1,000 fuel pools worldwide splitting atoms directly into your environment. Do you really think we're going to live this? We're going to survive this? That the planet can survive something that attacks everything with replicating cells? Do you really think that's going to happen? I can assure you it's not. James has 40 playlists in his new playlist in his playlist setup. He's got oodles of new songs there over this last 7-8 days, and nobody's watching it whatsoever. I mean, that song we started off with, Nick, man, that's fantastic. And another song I was listening to, I was trying to catch up to a couple of them. It was an IAEA song. I'm going to play just a little bit of it. I'll play a little bit of it for you. That's pretty brilliant, man. And this is going to change what he's doing. I'm not going to give the game away. What he's doing is he's experimenting right now, but he's up to something pretty smart. M-A-R-T, smart. And this is IAEA Infographic Design Contest. This is self-explanatory. I'm just going to play a little bit of it, maybe play the whole thing, who knows. When I was listening to this, I said I should start the show off with this one tonight or end it with that one or the other. I'm going to play it right now. I'll be right back.
Hi, kids. Welcome to the IAEA Infographic Contest. Do you love art? Do you love radioactive containment? Then sharpen your pencils, because it's time to submit.
Wolves in your children's classrooms, international.
It's the contest of the year. Safety's message crystal clear. Make a picture bold and smart. Help the atom play its part. But remember, no AI. We're looking for designs made only by human hands. No AI, no AI. Keep your drawing IAEA certified. Choose your favorite theme from the conference list, like placards, packaging, or how to stay safe during transport. Then pick an audience, maybe the public, a shipping company, or a border team.
Pick a theme to find your crowd. Make it clear but not too loud. Keep it smart and nice to see, with safety shields and clarity.
And format matters. Submit your entry as a JPEG, a PNG, or a high-res PDF. Blurred designs won't stop radiation.
Add your name and your age. Tell us who will view your page. Then submit and cross your toes. You might be picked, who really knows? Let's explore how your infographic could look.
Maybe you draw a truck on a long, lonely road. Don't forget to add the bright yellow radioactive sign. That means it's safe.
Draw the wheels and make them spin. Put 2 drums neatly packed within. Each one's filled with radioactive soup, but it's labeled right, so it's safe for you.
Want to make it more advanced? Add a side view of the container shielding. That's called a cutaway diagram. But keep it friendly. We're still having fun.
Draw a fence and draw some tape. Add a crew in every shape. Stick figure guards who stand up proud, posing next to cast with pride.
Maybe your waist is on a train. Add clouds, a mountain, and a stream. Just don't draw the stream too close to the rail line. That's a no-no!
Color the placard red and black. Add a crane to move the stack. Every drum needs loving care. Show them flying through the air. And don't forget the shipping manifest. That's the part with the numbers that no one reads but everyone trusts.
Glue and glitter, make it pop. Stick the cask in a traffic stop.
Pop.
Add a meter with a smile. Bert the jackalope checks from a mile.
Bert's ears are sensitive.
sensitive to gamma. He doesn't panic, he just hops.
Bert says shield it, mark it,
Have a great
move
night,
with
everybody.
pride.
See everybody
And finds a
tomorrow night.
new safe place to hide. He doesn't question, doesn't pause. He follows all containment laws.
And if you win, oh what a prize. Pack your bags and claim the skies. Off to Vienna you will go to show your art and steal the show.
You'll get a badge, a tote bag, and a printed poster of your infographic.
Meet the staff, explore the floor, maybe see a cask or four. Get a handshake, sip some tea, maybe meet the meltdown queen.
All entries selected must surrender full copyright to the IAEA, forever in every language across all dimensions of space-time.
This contest is a global chance to help nuclear safety advance. Use your colors, make it bright. Try to align with IAEA oversight.
Safety first and best of luck. Submit on time, no room for muck.
From all of us here at the IAEA, good luck. And remember, radiation moves fast, but good design moves faster.